Ata Maria e te whānau, no mai hoki mai. Welcome to the Multi-Millionaire Podcast. This is actually my first episode in a long time, a little solo episode that I haven't recorded. If you guys have been here before, no mai hoki mai, welcome back to the Multi-Millionaire Podcast. And if you are new here, welcome to the show. This is where I talk all about money, mindset, and business. If you have been here before, you'll know that I started the year off really strong. I was doing daily podcast episodes. I grew my podcast like exponentially, and it was so awesome to see that progress. But what happened was I did too much too quickly, and I ended up getting in a bit of a rut. And today's episode, I really wanted to just talk about that because I finally feel like I'm out of it. And I wanted to just speak about some of the things that I did that helped me get here. So, for those who aren't really familiar with my journey, I have been a caregiver for quite a few years. And last year, we lost my nanny. And that was my second nanny to pass away. And I was just in the depths of grief. And I was so low, burnt out, and just not feeling good. I ended up taking a few months off mahi to just recuperate, and I'm so grateful for the privilege that is to take how much time I took off. I took almost 3 months off work. And during that time, I really just gave myself the time and the space to not focus on work and just focus on me. And to be honest, I just basically stayed in my bed the whole time. I didn't really do much, but January the 1st was the last day that I did that, and it just hit me that my nannies wouldn't want me to just stay in my bed for the rest of my life. They would want me to get up, they would want me to do things, they would want me to achieve my goals. And so January the 2nd, I started this podcast challenge and I did a daily podcast episode. I'm pretty sure I did it until March, so like 3 months. It was supposed to be just 1 month. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember exactly how long I did it, but I did that. I was growing on social media. I gained 50,000 followers in quarter 1 of the year. I made $100,000 in the first 4 months of 2026, which is the most money my business has ever generated. And everything was going so well in business, but what wasn't going well was me. I was burnt out, like only a few months into the year, exhausted, not enjoying things. I lost my motivation. I lost my energy. I lost my spark again. And I'm like, bro, I literally just got out of this and now I'm back here, back to square one, it felt like. Now, rewind a little bit, just after we lost my nan. Before we lost my nan, I had lost a lot of weight, 75 kgs, totally transformed my life. But when you're losing someone who, my nan was like my mum, she was like a mum to me. And one of the ways we bonded was food. And so I was so sad that I was going to lose my nan. And one of the experiences that we always did was eating. We would buy nice food. She would cook me nice food. That was just one of the ways that we bonded. That was like from my childhood. That's just one of the common, consistent things that me and my nan would do, would eat nice things. And so I was doing so well with my health. I had lost so much weight. I was feeling amazing. And I felt like I was never going to get the opportunity again to eat nice food with my nan, knowing that she was going to pass away. She had cancer, she was terminal. And so I started eating more, and I started eating things that I wouldn't usually eat. Then, like, caregiver burnout hit, and I was absolutely exhausted. And anyone who's been in that spot knows that most people will have some type of vice, and my one was food. So I would be up in the night helping my nan, and then it would be like midnight, and I'm like, I gotta go to sleep, bro. I've got work tomorrow. I've got things to do. But I couldn't just fall asleep. I was so stressed. I was so, I was grieving my nan, that like, even though she was still alive, I was still grieving her. And there was just so many emotions and feelings throughout that whole journey. And I just used food to cope. And so I remember like having so much Nutrigrain to like eat all these carbs so that I could go to sleep. And I was researching it during that time and learning about how stress increases your cortisol levels, and carbs can be a way that humans kind of, I don't know, cope with that. I'm not a food expert, I don't know. But also, look at my cute cup if you're watching on YouTube. My friend gave me this cup and I love it so much. I'm just having a little bit of coffee. But essentially, throughout that process, I gained weight back, and after I lost my nan, I signed up for the Huntly Half Marathon because I thought that was going to help me. I thought maybe I could run my way through grief. Maybe I could, I don't know, just like, I've grieved so many different people in so many different ways. And when I lost my other nan, I really turned to work. I turned to the gym. I turned to hauora. I turned to all those things to cope. And, you know, whilst obviously grief isn't nice, I did end up feeling better overall because I was choosing to like walk. I was choosing to exercise. I was choosing to do things that would help me longer term. But when I lost my nan, that was what I remember joking about it. I was like, I hope that, you know, I can really get back into the gym, and I hope that this pain will, you know, manifest into that. And it didn't. I continued to eat. I continued to self-sabotage. I continued to not look after myself. Even though I had signed up for the Huntly Half Marathon, I had done this previously. I did this last year. I signed up for the Rotorua Marathon, and it really motivated me. I was training. Because I'm so intentional with my money, I was like, I don't want to spend money on a registration and then not train for it. And so I thought the same thing would happen when I signed up for the Huntly Half Marathon. And that's not what happened at all. I think I trained maybe like a few times at max. I just didn't train for it. And so when the Huntly Half Marathon finally came around, I didn't even want to go. I was like, I haven't trained for this. I'm not prepared for this. I don't feel good. I'm in a rut. I'm tired. I'm over this. I don't want to do anything. But because I had already paid for my registration, I'd already booked accommodation, I'd already told people I was doing it, I was like, why don't you just go and have fun? You don't have to do the half marathon. You can do the 10K, you can do the 6K. It literally doesn't matter what you do. This isn't about speed. This isn't about being fast. It's not about, obviously it was never about winning. I was never going to win, but it wasn't about that. It was about pushing myself to do something that was hard. It was about pushing myself to do something that I told myself I would do. It was about honoring myself and honoring my goals and honoring everything that I've been working towards. And it was about meeting myself where I'm at and recognizing that I didn't have to run my way through grief. I didn't have to have this massive transformation. And it was the night before the marathon. Well, I didn't do the marathon, but the 10K. And I was staying in my Airbnb, and I was just thinking about that time last year when I was doing the Rotorua one. I stayed in Rotorua overnight, and the next day my mum told me she would come and she would meet me at the finish line, and that maybe my nan would be okay to stay home by herself. And I remember when I finished that and I was looking out trying to see if my mum was there, and she wasn't there. And I thought, oh no, maybe something's happened to my nan. And I checked my phone and my nan was sick, and that's why my mum didn't come. And so doing this whole thing again in a different, you know, it was in Huntly this time, but with those same memories of last time I did this, my nan was still here. Last time I did this, it was like this, right? And I really, like that night before the Huntly one, I just gave myself the time and space to give myself what I needed. I left my work laptop at home. I told myself I wasn't allowed to even go on my work social media. I wasn't allowed to scroll on my phone. I just needed to sit with myself, and I needed to meet myself where I was at, and I needed to pour into myself, and I needed to give myself what I needed. And that's what this last little chapter of trying to get out of this rut has been. You might notice I got my nails done. I got my lashes done. These are things that I wouldn't usually do, but because I've been feeling so low, burnt out, lack of motivation, I've just been really intentional about pouring into myself, meditating, trying to move my body, trying to look after myself as best as I can so that I can get out of this rut. And in Huntly, the night before the race, I just sat there. Literally, there's a TV. I don't really watch TV, but the TV was off. I think even I turned the lights off, and I listened to these nervous system regulation little music things. Like if you've listened to them, you'll know they're just so calming. It feels like you're at a massage parlor. And I was sitting there and I just cried and cried and cried because I miss my nan and my other nan so much, and I wish they were here with me. And every single time I've got into that moment where I'm just like, I just really wish you were here, they always show up. They always show up, and they're there with me, and they give me the words of wisdom, and they're there to support me. And in that moment, my nan told me that it wasn't about being perfect. My specialty is imperfection. It's being vulnerable. It's the reason why my platform has grown so much is because I'm me. I've never tried to be these other financial educators that are prim and proper and perfect and professional and all of these things. And they, I talk about mental health. I talk about being in a rut. I talk about all of these different things. I talk about the imperfect things. And I think it's so important to do that because, one, it's relatable, it builds connection, but it's also just so relevant because we all know that money isn't just a numbers game. It's all these different things interconnected. And I know that when I've been in this rut, I've been more likely to buy takeaways. I've been more likely to do things that I wouldn't usually do because I'm not feeling good. And so the reason why I wanted to talk about this and share this with you all is because I know some other people are probably in a rut right now, and they're like, how do I get out of this? And it might not be signing up for a race, it might not be doing something like that, but it might be just following what I'm about to share about the 3 things that I really noticed about doing this race. What were those 3 things that really helped me get out of a rut? I did this big journal entry this morning, and I wanted to share a little bit of it with you all before I get on to those 3 things. So those first 7Ks were great. I felt alive. I felt fulfilled. I loved meeting Huntley, the whenua, the awa, the taiao. And then it sucked. It absolutely sucked. My feet were sore. My mind wanted to give up. My body was tired. I just remember the last little loop of that. You had to walk around the Huntley Speedway, and I was like, I am not a speed racing car. What am I doing here? This sucks. I don't want to be here. Like, my feet are sore. I'm tired. I want to go home. I wanted to just I could see all the corners where I could cut corners and just kind of skip the end of the race and just kind of give up. And I was just like looking at them, trying to should I, I've already come this far. Don't do that. But I was like, I really want to because I'm tired, bro. I want to go home. But I continued to push. I know that our minds always give up before our bodies, and when our mind says enough, the body usually has some extra mileage in it. Don't quote me on this because I don't know if it's true, but I think it's something like there's still 40% to go or something after your mind is saying you're done, you've met your capacity. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard that somewhere. Each step I'm reading this from my journal, by the way. Each step I took, I rewired my mind. I can do hard things. Each person that passed me taught me something new. There was a little girl who ran past me and she was saying, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, I'm strong. And I was like, this is a little kid. This is a little kid who is pushing herself, who is telling herself that she can do hard things, that she can do something that most little kids aren't doing on a Sunday morning. I don't know how many Ks she did. Maybe it was the 5K one. I don't know. But most little kids, aren't running at the Huntley Half Marathon, right? But she's telling herself, I can do this. I am strong. I can push. And I'm like, if this little girl can do it, then I can. And then there was a man that ran past me and he had 2 support people with him and they were wearing these orange vests, and I can't remember what exactly they said, but they said something like blind or vision support or something like that. So I assume this Tani was blind. And I was like, I'm able-bodied. I can see, I can hear, and I'm struggling. But these people are pushing. They are trying. They are giving it their best crack. And that connection really prompted me to just think about putting myself in other people's shoes. And we always look at ourselves and go, oh, it's hard, it's challenging, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, look at these people. They've got this can-do attitude and they're making it work. And that was just so inspiring to see. They gave me signs that if they can do it, so can I. Crossing the finish line told me that I can do hard things. It filled my cup in ways that I've tried to, but I haven't been able to. And there were 3 things that I realized about that day, it was just yesterday, that really got me out of this rut, because it honestly felt like it was like instantaneous. Like I was still doing the race, and I was like, this is everything I've needed to be out in the sun with other people. I've not really, like, that's the longest I've exercised all year, because I've just not really been motivated to exercise. All of the things that used to motivate me, they're not there anymore. Like I used to really be motivated to go to the gym so that I had the energy to be a caregiver and a business owner and juggle all the hats that I've always worn. But because I'm not a caregiver anymore, I'm like, there's no one else is going to suffer if I don't look after myself. And so I haven't had that same motivation. And like that is telling me something, that I'm not even motivated for myself. I've only ever really been motivated to be there for other people, to look after other people, to prioritize them. And it's like, I need to be able to push myself for me. Like I need to like raise the bar a bit and be moving for me. And it does affect other people if I don't look after myself, because I run a business and my business helps people. And when I'm not feeling good, I can't help people as much. And do you know what I notice? When I've been in this rut, I get less messages of people saying, oh my gosh, your podcast helped me. Oh my gosh, this really resonated. Like I still get them, but I don't get as many. And I know, because my content is not in the energy and the frequency of, oh my gosh, my earring just dropped off. My content is not in the frequency of, I'm feeling good and so I can help other people. It's in the frequency of, I'm not really feeling good, but I'm still being consistent. And people, they can feel it, like I don't know if people can actually say, oh, maybe she's not, doing the best, but it's not as impactful. It doesn't help as many people when I'm not feeling good, is what I've noticed. And so it actually does affect other people when I do not look after myself. And I shouldn't be motivated by the impact it has on other people. But I know that many of us are. Many of us aren't motivated by like our self-interest. And I think it's a cultural thing where we take so much pride in being of service to other people. And that's always been a motivator for me. And when I haven't had those other people to kind of push me along, I don't look after myself. And so I'm just reminding myself that actually it does impact other people, even if I feel like it doesn't, even if there's no one in my physical world. My business isn't able to help as many people when I'm not feeling good. And especially in a business where you've got a personal brand and things like that, it does affect other people. The other thing that I really noticed about the Huntly Half Marathon is, one, that connection piece. So connecting with other people who were fighting many of the same challenges. Many of those other people found it really hard too. Apparently, I don't know who this person is, but apparently there was like an international renowned runner, or I think they were a New Zealand like famous runner, and I think they had like competed internationally. And apparently even she said that it was really hard, that track was really hard. And that connection with other people who were struggling with the same things, yet they didn't allow it to stop them. They still finished. It was hard. Everyone said it was hard. Like I met like fit people who said it was a challenging track. I met people who had disabilities, kids, like old people that were bigger than me, people of so many different, capabilities, and everyone found it hard, but everyone still did it. That just blows my mind, how so many people can get together, so many people can find something hard, but so many people can push themselves to still do it anyways. That connection, it builds momentum, and it's like, well, if she can do it, I can do it. If she can do it, I can do it. You know how you are who you surround yourself by? That is why I love doing like races. Like that's the second time I've done it. The Rotorua one was exactly the same. So many people, different varying abilities, all struggling but pushing themselves to do it anyways. And when you're around people who do things even when it's hard, it rubs off on you, right? The next thing is a new environment. So I've been to Huntly before, but I've not really, Rahui Pōkeka is the ingoa Māori, I hope I didn't get that wrong. But I've been to Rahui Pōkeka before, but I've not like been inside the city, and it's a town, isn't it? Not a city. I've not been like traveled inside it. I stayed the night in Ngārua Wāhia. I went out for dinner in Ngārua Wāhia. I stayed at an Airbnb. In Huntly, when we did the race, we got to see all of like the awa, the trees, the whenua. And I was just pushing myself to be in a new environment. And when you're in a new environment, creativity flows, right? It's like going on a holiday, but it's literally to Huntley, you know? Like, it's so many people wouldn't go, I'm going on a holiday to Huntley. But for me, that's what it felt like. It felt I was going on a holiday. I was going somewhere new. I was having a new experience. I was doing something outside of my comfort zone. I was doing something I don't usually do on a Sunday. I was pushing myself to get into a new environment. And when you're in a new environment, naturally, your thoughts, your mindset, everything changes because you're pushing yourself to be in a new place, a new environment, to see new people, meet new people, see new things, right? And then the last one is to do hard things. When you do hard things, you prove to yourself that you can do hard things, you build your confidence, and then the next day you're like, well, I did that hard thing yesterday, I can do another hard thing. So today, this is so funny. But one of the things that I do when I'm doing my morning journaling, morning meditation, and I've done this for a little while because I read this book called The Gap and the Gain. And what you do is you write your 3 wins for the day in the morning. And the whole point of it is you just focus on 3 things that you can do and you will do. And then at the end of the day, you write your 3 wins down, like, did you do it or not? And the whole point of it is to scan life for the wins, because so many people are looking for the losses. What did I not achieve today? What did I not do? Or people start the day with like 1,000 things on their to-do list, and they get to the end of the day, they don't do the 1,000 things because they realize they're not a robot. And then they get all down in the dumps because they're like, well, I didn't do my 1,000 things. So instead you just do 3 things, 3 wins for today, 3, and then at the end of the day, write down the 3 things that you did. Now, one of them is record a podcast. This has been on my list for a long time because I haven't done a solo episode because I've just not had the drive. I didn't even know what to do a podcast about. I was like, what do I even talk about? What do I do? I have no idea. And so today's was do a podcast. Now, I was literally sitting in my pajamas in my backyard doing my meditation and having my coffee and everything like that. And, you know, I thought to myself, oh, I could just do an audio one so I don't have to, like, you know, brush my hair. I don't have to put my eyebrows on. I don't have to maybe put some face moisturizer on, like maybe not look like I just rolled out of bed. And I thought maybe just do an audio one. That'll be easier. And then I told myself, you literally did a 10K yesterday. What are you talking about doing it easy? It's not that hard. Brush your hair, change your clothes, you know, put some moisturizer on. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Push yourself, do it. And I was only able to do that because yesterday I proved to myself that I can do hard things. Every other time I've tried to do that, I haven't been able to do it because I've not been doing hard things enough. I've been taking the easy route, and the easy route always ends up harder because when you're not doing hard things, you don't have any confidence that you can do hard things because you're not doing anything that's hard. You're just taking the easy route. That's like at the start of the year when I did the daily podcast challenge. It was hard. It was hard to stay consistent. It was hard to have so many different ideas. It was hard to, you know, actually action what I knew I wanted to do, which was grow my podcast. It was hard to do that, to record them, to, you know, put some captions on them, to make some titles for them, to post them, to share about them, to talk about them. There was so much work involved with it and it was hard, but every time I did it, I proved to myself that I could do it, and that momentum helped keep me going. So doing hard things makes it easier to do more hard things, and it builds there's like this, it's like a muscle, being able to do hard things, and you have to grow it and stretch it and work on it and keep trying. And just like if you have them booty gains at the gym, if you stop going to the gym, they disappear. Same with this hard muscle. I'm just making this thing up. The muscle that proves that you can do hard things. So doing the Huntley Marathon got me out of this rut, and I feel amazing right now, and I hope that this lasts, and I think it will, because I'm going to continue to do hard things. Building connections with people who aren't in your normal physical world. Building connections with other people who are doing hard things and who are pushing themselves to be better and do better. It's motivating. It's inspiring. I'm still thinking about this little girl going for a run telling herself affirmations. This little girl. There are adults who can't even do that. I was struggling to do that, and this little girl was doing it. This blind man. There was also this wahine who, I don't want to share too much about her personal journey, but she had a disability and she was really struggling, and she was pushing herself. She was pushing herself to just keep on going, and I was just like, holy moly. Connecting with people who are also doing hard things. Being in a new environment, even if it's for literally one night, just going somewhere. It might not even be one night. It might be for a day. Like, I recognize everyone has different budgets and everything, but it might be just even if it's in your same town, just going somewhere new, doing something different. It might be going to a cafe, it might be going to a new town, it might be going to a new country, like whatever you can afford, whatever is, realistic for you. Getting into a new space, a new environment with new people and pushing yourself to do something outside of your comfort zone, that is what gets you out of a rut. And that is why I've woken up Monday morning feeling amazing. Like literally, was it last Monday? My general kind of weekly schedule is like I work Monday through Friday and I try to take the weekend off, and over the weekend I have my like home job, so I try to make sure my house is clean before Monday morning. I do my groceries, my meal prepping, my weekly reset, all of that kind of stuff, and I try to have a clean house so that on Monday morning I wake up and my house is clean and I don't have to worry about that. Literally last Monday I had to do all my cleaning on Monday because I hadn't done it in the weekend because I've just been such a blob, like I've just not been vibing with life. And now my whare is like all goods. I just feel great. I feel great, and that's because yesterday I chose to do something outside of my comfort zone. I chose to do something hard. I chose to connect with new people. I chose to push myself outside of my comfort zone, and these are all things that every single person can do. So if you're in a rut, I push you, I urge you to connect with some new people who are like-minded. Get yourself in a new environment and do hard things. So before you leave today, I want you to comment one thing on this video, on this podcast, that you're going to commit to doing. It might be that you're going to sign up for a race. It might be the 5Ks. Like, there's lots of them. If you search up marathons, there's a calendar and they have lots of different ones across the country, different times. It might be just signing up. It might be making plans with a friend you haven't seen who you know always leaves you in a good mood and you're going to go for a walk together. It might be booking a little trip away with some new people. Whatever it is, I want you to commit to doing one new thing today. There might be something that you've wanted to do but you've been struggling to push yourself to do, and I want you to comment it on this video and I want you to make that commitment, because when you make that commitment and then you follow through on it, you build your self-confidence that you can do what you said you were going to do. And that's what building wealth is about. You said you want to do this. What are you going to do about it? Your goals don't care how you feel. They manifest when you do what you need to do. And that's why we've got to do hard things. We've got to connect with new people. We've got to push ourselves to be in new environments. We've got to get out of that rut. If you're in a rut right now, we've got to get out of it. You've got to feel the feels though. Don't be, pushing yourself too hard. Feel the feels. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Meet yourself where you're at. But then when you have capacity, push yourself. Do something new. Do something hard. I am sending you guys the best of luck, and I can't wait to hear this new thing that you do, this new commitment that you make, and I can't wait to hear when you do it, because I know you're going to feel 10 times better. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's a bit different from what I usually do. If you found value in it, I'd be so grateful if you could send it to a friend, share it on your story, anything like that. But that is us for today, ite iwi. I will be back with another podcast episode soon, hopefully not too soon. But that is us. I hope you enjoyed. Mauri ora.